Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to creating the diorama base for the P-40B Flying Tiger that we built in 1/48 scale. I took the 1.5" foam, and I still need to sand the sides down and everything, sand it all flush to the deal here, but and then I glued a piece of the 1/4" foam board over the top to serve as our base. And it's going to be a nice light base. I'll probably, going forward, if this works just fine, probably go forward just doing the foam insulation and then doing the foam board on top of it. Because that, oh my goodness, my brain's not working today. The 1957 Cadillac Brougham, because I put the plaster over it, that added quite a bit of weight to it. So, but like I said, these are my first dioramas I've ever built, and it's gonna try some things, and if it don't work, we'll just try other things until we get it to work. So I'm just checking to make sure I was recording, because I have a bad habit of that. And what we're gonna do today in this video is paint the ground, the brown oxide, kind of like we did with the other diorama, to give it a base. Because I don't know if you noticed, if you watched the Brougham video, even when I did the foam sheets, did the ballast over it, where you could see some white through sections that didn't, the ballast didn't glue down quite right, which I'm going to have to touch up in the next video, but for that series. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and paint a base color, that way it won't bleed through. And then what I plan on doing, let's grab the old P-40 here. The photos that I seen of the Flying Tigers, it looked like they were grass runways. And I do plan on doing kind of a splotchy grass runway. But I think I'm going to have the P-40 kind of sitting like this. And I do have the tail wheel turned a little bit, like it's turning into, and then this will be kind of the runway area. But I wanted it to be fully onto the... so the wings aren't overhanging or nothing. Making it look like it's coming to turn to get onto the runway part. So we'll have basically grassed area, but a lot of them were kind of splotchy grass areas, like there was grass worn out, patches with grass missing, and stuff like that. So, and I'll probably flatten the grass out, like a bunch of planes have been rolling over it to get to it. And I think the runway part will have some tracks too as well, but the majority of it does look like, in the historical photos that I seen, that they took off of grass runways in China. So this is the position I plan on putting the P-40, and maybe turn a little more, like it's kind of turning into it. And I think I'll give you a side view once we put the model on, but that's basic placement of the P-40. We'll have the grass and the tracks coming up, and then the runway will be coming off this way. That's how I think we're going to do that. But anyway, take the P-40 and put it in its little safe zone there. And I already shook up the paint, but it never hurts to shake it up a little more. And let's paint this base. It's probably going to take a couple coats. Sure don't. There you go. Wanted to make sure it wasn't going to spray everywhere. And we'll just kind of like that. I got my clean brush here, and we'll just kind of start painting. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover it. But this is going to be a base to hopefully prevent the bleed through, if there's, especially with the static grass. I've never done it before, so I don't know how well that's gonna actually turn out the first time. But I'm gonna take a test piece of foam and kind of go practice a little bit, because I don't want this one to be like, well, I wish I would have done a little better on that grass. I'm hoping this diorama base will not be the same as the Brome, where I gotta redo stuff. But what is nice about that is you can kind of see what doesn't work and what does work. I think if I would have followed the correct procedure on a lot of it, I could have made it work right the first time, but that's what we're about here. Trying new stuff and just creating things, basically. And I believe it's going to take a couple coats, but we'll get the first coat on. I'll probably do the second coat off camera, because this probably isn't fun for a lot of people, watching paint dry. But I want to, that's what these are. These are video logs of me building stuff. Show the process of it's one thing I could make videos and edit them out real good and forget about all the stuff that didn't work, and I think I would lose a lot of authenticity though doing something like that, being like, okay, this is what I did, and whether it worked or not, to say, yeah, it worked. This is the way it turned out, even though it's not. So can't be afraid of things not working out all the time. What did I say in one of my videos? Not everything's gonna be a win. Something like that. That's how you grow, though, too. If everything ended up perfect all the time, then I don't know if life would be that fun. I know I'm the kind of person that's always I kept myself from trying things because I was so worried about them not turning out perfect, because I'm kind of a perfectionist. That's why you see me throw something on the shelf for a while and I gotta think of it, because I do want things to be nice, especially since I'm gonna have this sitting on a shelf in my living room more than likely. Or on a shelf in some room in my house. And again, I'm not too worried about these edges. They're gonna be framed out by the balsa wood, and I plan on doing the here, let's get that off there. We don't want, well, I guess, yeah, you'd have chunks of dirt. I should have left that for realism. And I forgot my train of thought there, which I often do as well. Very excited to try that static grass deal, though. One of those, I watch people do it on videos, and boy, that really makes your models stand out. I have to clean that cap off before I shed it. I kind of got it all over the place, didn't I? I think 2 coats will cover it though. It covers pretty well. I really didn't use much. How many times did I squirt the paint out? Less than a half dozen, I bet. Alright. I think I'll just let that kind of dry. Get that a little better. I was kind of thin on the paint there. But I'll let that dry up and give it another coat of brown off camera to make sure it's a nice even layer. And the next time you see this, I think we're gonna be either doing the dirt or the static grass. I should probably do the dirt spots first and then the static grass over that. That's what I'm thinking, because there are going to be spots where there's not going to be any grass. Kind of want to mimic a historical photo that I saw online. I thought that looked really neat. But that's the plan for the P-40 base. And then I'll, like I said, do the balsa around the edge, and it'll have the top will have the border as well, and then I'll do the ready for takeoff plaque on the front of it, because I want to title all my dioramas something. So, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.